Hey everybody, welcome to the Dustopper shop. So we get an occasional request for information on how to adapt a Dustopper to a larger bucket. You may not know this, but the 12-inch diameter rim on a bucket is kind of a standard dimension for a number of buckets that you can get from paint stores, food supply stores. Obviously, we support our partner, the Home Depot, by promoting their 5-gallon bucket that you can buy at any Home Depot store, and which also has a nice fit with the Dustopper. This is a 7-gallon bucket with the same diameter rim. A word on rims. These are standard, but there's still some flexibility. So you might want to take your Dustopper with you to ensure that there's a good mate. Once in a while, somebody will say that they bought a Dustopper and the bucket didn't perfectly align with it. So do a little trial and error there. We know that it aligns very nicely with the Home Depot bucket. And a third option we wanted to share with you today, and we'll walk you through the steps on how to do this, is modifying the clamp on top that comes with this popular 14-gallon poly drum, and we'll show you how we sacrifice a Home Depot bucket very easily, modify the top of the drum so that you can attach your Dustopper to that, and then nearly triple the capacity from the original 5 gallons to 14 gallons. So the good news is that when we change bucket sizes in terms of capacity and the rim, there's no loss at all in efficiency. But what you may not know is that you can easily modify this 14-gallon poly drum to easily receive a Dustopper and not lose any separation efficiency at all. And I think you'll be surprised just how fast and easy it is to make this change. Today we're going to use the cross-cut attachment for my saw stop to show you how I cut the bottom of the bucket off. You have to remove the handles. We need to elevate the back of the bucket so that the top is in a plane that's perpendicular to the saw. We're going to adjust the angle so that the saw is parallel to the top of the bucket and lock that into position. Now we need to immobilize the cross-cut device. So we're going to do that like this. And I want to center the center line of the bucket over the center line of the shaft that the blade is connected to. All right. And we're going to clamp that into place. And just as an extra measure of safety, we'll put a clamp over here on our cross-cut system. Then I'm going to line up the saw. We're going to cut just below this second rib around the outside. So I'm going to line up the saw. Then we're powering it on now. We'll raise the blade up and cut the top of the bucket off. So now we want to take 2 measurements just to get an average. You know, these things are not a perfect circle. So we'll do this in an X, and we want the outside dimension of this little tiny flange right here. So I'm measuring 11 5/16 there, and I'm measuring 11 5/16 here. So it's a better circle than I thought it was. Now what we're going to do is drill out the top of our poly drum. And I'll show you how we do that. This has a little dimple right in the top, makes it very easy to locate our center for the circle cutting jig. All right, so we need an opening that is 11 3/16, half of that is what we should have for the distance to our cutter. That looks good. So let's cut it off. The thing to remember when you're cutting out a hole like this is that at the end, you lose the stability for the center of your cutter. You always want to be very careful approaching the end point and then kill the router before you extract it.
So after we cut the hole in the top of the poly drum's white lid, we tested the fit and it wasn't quite the way we liked it. So what you see here is an adjustment being made where we made the opening about 1/16 of an inch larger than the first opening was, and we achieved great results using this technique.
So we've cut the top of the bucket off, we've cut a hole in our poly drum. Now we're going to fit the top of the bucket to the poly drum. The manner I'm going to use is one where it's a combination of glue and fasteners. This morning we're going to put glue around the rim, position the poly drum lid over the bucket rim, and I use an ultra clear caulking for gutters, roofs, flashing, siding, windows, doors, etc. This is not silicone. Silicone just doesn't seem to stick to the plastic very well. So I use this and it seems to work pretty good. So here we go. So we've cut everything and re-glued everything. We have our caulking around the edge. This is the top of the barrel. This is the top of the poly drum. The only thing that's left to do is to take these washers and put them strategically around the edge, and we'll hold those in place with those number 8 by 1/2 inch screws. So here goes.
So there you have it. We've put in all of the screws. You can see we just spaced them evenly around the perimeter. And of course, the orange rim is now glued into the white ring that will sit on top of the poly drum. You have an option of either gluing your Dustopper lid to the top of the old Homer bucket. We kind of like it where you can separate it. That way, if you choose to use it with a 5-gallon bucket or with the big poly drum, you have that option. So that's it. We're going to snap it on the poly drum, and we are ready to go.
A little bit of white powder, but for 14 gallons, that's pretty good.
So that's all there is to it. We've got the Dustopper on top of the poly drum, and as you can see, we've added a cart. By the way, if you want to see how we made the cart, drop us a line in the comments, and we'll be happy to share that in a separate video. So I guess now it's time to say, go make some dust, will ya? Have fun in your shop and be safe. Take care.